now I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. I think I'm gonna do the whole long journey thing here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna exit Drac, and then I'm gonna head north towards the desert. And in the desert, I will introduce you to my I don't actually know West Drac well enough to know which way is out here. I guess I'll just follow this road. I'll introduce you to the adventure launcher, which is out in the middle of the desert somewhere, and then I will take a boat back from wherever the adventure launcher deposits me. Nice, nicely done. I'm gonna try and take the, yeah, I'm gonna grab a boat down here. Oh, I think there might even be just somebody's boat that they've crafted, might just be around here. Because I know that someone had their base nearby once long ago, and no boats, no boats. Do I have wood? I do not have enough wood for a boat. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to punch trees. Ah, yes, I love punching trees. Okay, well, I'm just gonna swim over here and punch a tree. Punch my way up this hill. I'd like to avoid punching my way up this hill if I can, you know? Try to avoid damaging the natural world, aside from trees. Why do we hate trees so much, eh? No, I'm looking for a tree that like won't get, that won't be missed, actually. That's probably what I should be doing, is looking for a tree that won't be missed, like this one, and that isn't like connected to too many other trees, so that when it breaks, and the leaves despawn, because we have like, you know, we don't have one of those, boop, very nice. We don't have one of those mods that makes the leaves like vanish, or no, like cut the whole tree down, the like timber type mods where, oh, my shift key is doing that thing. It does that on startup every time. It gets stuck, and then, yeah. There's those mods where you have to punch the bottom of the tree for a very long time, and then the whole tree comes down. And the idea there is that it is annoying to have to jump around and knock the whole tree down. But actually, guess what? It is not annoying. That's gameplay, right? And figuring out like ways around that, ways to make yourself to like, that's part of the game. Figuring out how best to punch your trees is part of Minecraft. That I think is, you know, a valuable bit of gameplay. If you quality of life everything out of the game, then you have achieved the quality of death, right? And yeah, so we don't have that. What we do have is, I don't want to wait for the leaves. Like, the leaves will disappear on their own. That's not my responsibility to make them disappear. But it takes too long. So we have that, you know, mod that makes leaves disappear. And it's modded Minecraft, so we've got like the Terra Truncator, you know, so if you really don't like punching trees down in like clever ways, just get a Terra Truncator and then cut the tree down all in one go. Cut down a whole forest if you want. There's gonna be a pile of boats here, I think, probably, right? I'm actually gonna break this boat. I'm gonna bring this boat with me, because the adventure launcher launches you into the middle of an ocean, 100,000 blocks from spawn. Yeah, see that column of dirt? See that there? That is, I think it's called Fool's Rise. And long ago, like in ancient times, a player joined our server and then did some bad stuff and ran into the desert. And then right around here, they got attacked by like Thaumcraft evil. And so they like tried to escape by going up like this, and then they died, and they never cleaned it up. And so then recently I was like, oh, this is where I'm going to build the adventure launcher. Here is the adventure launcher. Glory, behold, adventure, behold launcher. So I don't know if you're familiar with Centec runic teleporters, but basically, like, these are very, very cheap. Nodes are very, very cheap. And I'm going to get an empty hand free here. The nodes, when you punch the core, when you right click the core, actually, it visits all of these nodes. I don't actually know the rules for the order, but it like visits all of these nodes, and for every node it checks all of the blocks attached to that node, and it counts up the number of blocks, and the type of the block is a multiplier, so it counts up the number of blocks, so like 10 and then there's another 10, right? So you can imagine that since this is a 10 by 10 cube, we're talking about 100. This is a 10 by 10 cube, right? Yeah, I think it's 100. And then each block of obsidian is a multiplier of 100. So did that math work out? Anyway, if it didn't work out, don't. Oh no, this is 100. 100. This is a cube, so it's 100 times 100 times 100, and then because it's obsidian, it's times 100. So you go out, you go way out when you punch it. And I've got signs everywhere that say, warning, do not click the green node, because like it would suck to be wandering around and be like, what's this green node do? Bonk, and then you're very far away. It's got a waystone. Oh, I could have waystoned. I could have gotten here by waystone. I would have been way faster, but and then in here, I made a little area where you can set your spawn point, because it kind of sucks. Like the first time that you use a runic teleporter, it might teleport you into a mountain or something. And then I added these, ender chests so that you can like store your loot that you don't want to lose. But I trust this thing because I've used it many times now, so I'm not going to use any of that nonsense. I'm just going to go, boop, and here I am plunging into this ocean. You can imagine, like if it was not an ocean, you would just die, and that would suck. And if it was a mountain, you would be inside of a mountain, and that would suck. So then it would require some modification. There's a village over there, which is really cool. And then the rest of this is like unexplored. Oh, and there you go. You see that? Block 99571. So it teleports you out 100,000 blocks to the northeast, because it's a cube. You saw that there were two faces. I should have explained that more clearly. The runic teleporter has like the two faces. And ooh, stay away from that. See the purple swirly dirl there? Yeah, that's where the bad guys come from. The cube has two faces, and so it measures out 100,000 blocks to the northeast. I don't know what else I can say. Yeah. And this is the journey that I did. So like when I initially recorded the first video, I mean, it's fairly reasonable to assume that if you're watching the 6th video, then you probably also watched the first video. And I was coming in on a boat and out of the ocean. And this is what I just did. I teleported out using the adventure launcher to unexplored territories. And it'd be cool if the adventure launcher was configurable, right? Like if you could select, I think this is about where right around here. If you could select a destination and it would like use whatchamacallits, pistons to like move things around for you. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, it's nighttime is coming. Oh no. Okay, so I have an unerring sense of direction. I've mentioned this before. So I could easily get off of my boat and retrace my footsteps exactly through the whole first video. But the other thing that I can do is use my brain to kind of curtail that journey a little bit for us. And considering that night is falling, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to use, see, like there's a mountain with a sakura tree on top of it. And I kind of think that that's the mountain that I like went over in the first episode. In the future, by the way, I am not going to, I'm just going to leave that boat there. In the future, when I do the Gaiden episodes, the world tour episodes, because there's going to be more than one over time. Every time I get to level 30, right? I'm going to probably teleport back, not do the whole like walking back thing, because it's a bit of a hassle. And it's going to be the same every time, right? That's repetitive. So I'll figure out some way to just like, oh, I can't. I'm in trouble. It's nighttime and there's monsters. They don't like me. I'm not some kind of god of war. Oh yeah, I recognize this. I gotta get out of here. This is gonna turn bad at any second. Oh, there's another one. Uh-oh. If I die, it's gonna be super awkward. So I think instead of dying, what I'll do is not die, if possible. And there's no creepers at the very least. That's nice. And then almost out of running power here. The old double tap's not working for me. Oh no. Okay. Instead of dying, I will not die. And then I'll have to like spend the night in a hole Oh man, that would be so awkward. I would hate to have to spend the night in a hole. Ooh, okay, so there. Oh, here we go. There's that barrow. Oh no, is that a witch? I think I saw a witch. God damn it. Okay, the witch is gonna get me. Yep, the witch is gonna get me. Oop. Okay, I'm on top of a tree. So I'm okay. I'm good at running away. reasonable enough at running away. Do I have any food? I brought these world seeds. I'll tell you about those when I'm not about to die. Do I have anything edible on me? No. Why do I not have anything edible on me? That's awful. I'm not going to stay on the top of this tree. So if I go through this forest, there's the barrow. Should I just go through the open field maybe? Oh, it's going to be so awkward if I die. I don't even know where my bed is right now. Like, I wasn't, I have this problem, which is that I record these videos, you know, and I don't do any edits or anything. Oh, I can't run anymore. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, sir. No, no. Do not kill me. I don't know where my bed is. Okay. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh, this is the worst. Because I don't know where my bed is set, and I don't want to have to redo the whole damn thing. This is awful. And I don't have any food. Really? I got no food on me? I got nothing to eat. Are you telling me I got nothing to eat? Yeah, it's nothing. And it's the middle of the night. I mean, I guess I just got to mine. That's fine. I like mining. Spiral staircase. Emergency spiral staircase. Yeah. Because so I'm going to be playing Minecraft. Like I don't just play when this is not streaming. I don't play when I record. I don't just play when I record. I also just play, like, you know, all the time. So I'm trying to do a thing where to you it will appear as though these are like seamlessly, one episode leads seamlessly into the next. Like, did you see how when I logged off in the episode 5.1, I then logged on like in roughly the same state? You know, I can't say exactly the same state, but roughly the same state, same location, same ish, you know, gear. Like, that's on purpose. I'm doing that on purpose because I want this to feel kind of seamless. Like you're just watching me play, and every hour is 1 hour of me playing the game. Because that's, I don't know. I don't know why I want that. Maybe at some point I'll like outgrow that trope. Yeah. But so, you know, as a result, like I'm playing right now. I'm off building a green colored, kind of mint chocolate colored village in a swamp using willow wood and mud bricks with my wife, because it's one of the way stations along the road to Sakura Town. Look at all this garbage I got in my inventory now. And we wanted to like make the way stations each into a little community, so that, you know, you kind of arrive and it's not just a way station. We had a little house set up at each way station, but so now we're like expanding the role of the way station to be a little town. And also, it's very close to Draxermed, and I love when things are close together. I love when things are far away as well. I love everything. I'm just full of love. But I love when you can look out the window of your house in the swamp town, whatever we're going to call it, mint chocolate town, and see, you know, to the north you can see the glorious towers of Draxermed and White Owl's house, and then, you know, to the south you can see Moonbeaver's original homestead, where, you know, and like, that's cool. That gives a sense of place and time and history, and I love place and time and history. So that's fun. That's something that I'm doing. And so, yeah, as a result, what I'm going to do is, even though I'm only going to go out there for the Gaiden episodes when I reach level 30 and can like legitimately teleport out there, that's a lot of iron. This is great. I'm glad I went mining. Screw you guys and your entertainment. So I made these world seeds. You know what these do? World seeds. These are from Botania. They're none too cheap, and they teleport you to 0, 0. No, they teleport you to the spawn, to the world spawn. So like the original spawn of the world. Spawn of the world. So that way I can teleport back without paying a cost. And then, you know, I can decide whether I want to... Screw you, osmium. I can decide whether I want to, like, pay the 30 levels. That's not too bad. I've got a bit of a level... The Post-Life Institute, I may have mentioned it in the previous video, is a experience farm. And so I can, you know, pretty quickly get the 30 levels that I need and then pop back out to this place, this new frontier that has no name yet even. This is like a pretty willy-nilly spiral staircase, I gotta say. This is how the original spiral staircase always had the one column in the center, and it's like the advance of technology, the march of technology, that gradually I started to prefer. Actually, this is terrible. This is like a real noob town spiral staircase right here, because look, how am I going to make the stairs go up, right? Like I can't put a stair block here, because it would go up into this wall, right? I mean, technically I can, it's just I would never do that. So typically what I do with the spiral staircases is they go like this, right? Like 1, 2, and then, you know, this one would be 1, 2, right? Because that way you can put a staircase here, and then you get a flat bit. But the problem is that reduces the amount of down, right? It means that every branch of the spiral staircase you're going down by 1, right? And so then I started doing a thing where I would have a 2 columns. That way I can still go down by 2 every branch, and you know, and still have like the elegant shape of things. But yeah, I wasn't thinking too hard when I ran in here. Okay, it's daytime. Let's go. Daylight's burning. This is the worst. I'm going to emerge from my cave, and I'm going to immediately get killed by whatever stuff wants to kill me. I think that I'm going to try to burrow out this way. Actually, I'm not even sure which direction is which, but I feel like I was on a hill. Oop, there, yeah, okay. Okay, well, it's pretty bright out there. I'm just gonna risk it. I'm totally disoriented. I do not know which direction is which, and I don't have the ability to run. But okay, there we go. Phew. Oh, there's a spider. No, not a spider. Oh, I don't like mobs. I don't want to look at an Enderman right now. Why is that skeleton not burning? Skeleton, you gotta burn. You're not being polite. I want to just like kill a pig and eat it right now. Okay. So that skeleton is not killing me. Oh, the Enderman really spooked me. I don't like mobs. Oh, God. Look at this. Give me that berry. Get rid of this bow. Who needs a useless bow? What would I use a bow for? Give me a berry anytime. Berries over bows. And there, look at that. And over there. So I knew that I passed this wide open field on the way in. There's a sheep. That's ironic. It's 2 sheep. Oh, actually, ironic and useful. The best combination of... There we go. Where did my berry hand go? I'm still not... Am I able to run now at least? Yeah, I'm able to run, but I'm not able to regenerate. I need these for a chips and bizzles bag. Chips and bizzles bag. A chisels and bits bag. Yeah, because I'm gonna make those crossbars that I was dreaming of for a while there. And this is interesting. I'm coming in behind the town here. I'm gonna come over this hill, and then I'm gonna see a new sort of perspective on my base. if I don't, you know, get murdered by something on the way in there. Oh, that little road. I haven't actually explored this town. Oh, and more sheep. Right? Because when I was coming in, I was talking about how I don't like towns. And I got these sheep. I myrtleized them. And then I went back over there. Yeah. Nice. Hello. Hello, crows. There's a lot of crows because this is like a field. The biome type is field. And the crows haven't like stupided themselves to death yet. Home sweet home. God. That was harrowing. I didn't give myself enough time. I didn't wake up early enough in the morning, I think. Yeah, that's probably what the problem was. This needs a little bridge. Clearly needs a little bridge. This needs something. You know what I'm gonna do, actually? Can't be dark wood log because there's no dark woods around here. That would be kind of... No, I'll do it with planks. I'll do it with planks. I was gonna do it with a log. Just going right across there. A little fallen log. That's how I like to base my kind of infrastructure, roads and things on desire lines. I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of desire lines from design in general. But like if I find myself doing something over and over, doing a particular crossing over and over, then that's where I'll put, you know, first one of these, and then later I might expand it into like a lovelier little bridge. Although this might do for this spot. I'm gonna go and deposit all of my worldly belongings. And, ooh, all right, I moved my storage. Great. And then, it's daytime. I want to do this real quick so that I can just, I want to work on that, that river out there. Stone stuff, andesite. And then I've got a bucket. I've got 2 buckets. I got some coarse dirt. I don't need coarse dirt. Okay, I'm just gonna run back out there before it's nighttime and work on that river. Get that river going. Because while I was away, I've been away. I published these videos. You probably know that they're public by now. And yeah, what I was thinking about was this. I was actually imagining this was gonna maybe become like a field for crops, and I'll put like a second smaller wall out there. Although this side, and then I would use the river as like a natural water source, but I might actually do the other side. I might actually do it on this side because that side's not as flat and low as I was kind of remembering it was. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build the river up another level, and then I'll build a dam over here at this choke point with the rock that I don't have right here-ish. And so then that'll go into the lake, that'll flood the lake, and then all of this will be raised up. And this is like enough room that the like natural irrigation, I'll put a little bit of natural irrigation in here. Yeah, it's all coming together in my mind. It's all coming together. I'm just gonna fill this in the usual manner. Minecraft water. I love Minecraft water. I was like on the very first vanilla server that I played on. I was kind of the first person to figure out like how the water physics worked. Vanilla, like, you know, beta server, when things were a little bit jankier. And we made a canal. Actually, you know what? Someone else on the server finished the canal. I started the canal and someone else finished it. But I remember that we filled it with water, and that was like, I don't know, it was a fun thing to like know how it works and to watch it work. Because it wasn't as easy. Like, right, this is easy. The water just flows kind of in a way that is, you know, almost like what you'd expect water to do. No, not at all like what you'd expect real water to do. But, you know, it's like once you've grasped the principle, I'm basically just bucketing water into an area, and then it's like filling itself in, except not right here. I've made a bunch of artificial water features on this server. I made like a grotto. I think that's what it's called. I'm not a geographer. I don't have, you know, a lot of geography knowledge. Put a piece of, do I have anything that's garbagey? I thought I had andesite, but I guess I just have light gray wool. I'm going to use the light gray wool. See if that'll, does that, no. What's going on here? I was just bragging about how good I am at water stuff in Minecraft, and now See how that works? Now I'm embarrassing myself. Get the blocks. Duh, the water. Duh. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going as though it was working until I get to where I want to be. Because I can hear a lot of crows outside. It's coming to that time of day when the crows begin to do their thing. Their grim work. Poop, poop. Yeah, you know what? I think probably the reason is because, because the water sources didn't go this far. That's why. Yeah. I just have to, so the water sources down here. The water sources on the bottom need to be proper water sources. This is kind of awkward because I can't see anything now. Come on. Come on, water. Do your thing. Yes, yes, good, good. Yeah, I like when you're flooding something, there is a temptation to just like do the surface and then not do the deeper levels. I like it when I'm able to like build up a flooding situation where each layer of water is source blocks, which I think, yeah, there we go. I think that I should have done a better job of that, actually, that exact thing that I just said that I like doing. I didn't do a good job of it at the beginning because I was just rushing. Let's see if I can do a little prototype of the dam. I'm probably going to need to use some dirt. This is probably where this is going to be like what do you call the part of a dam that lets the water through? Is it called the sluice? Sluice gate? Is that like a term? That's like the word that's coming into my brain right now, sluice. And so I don't know if that's it or not. I'm going to use probably stone and a great big redwood log across the top here. Yeah, that's about right. And then I'm going to use some dirt to like fill in the rest of this area. Maybe I can do that right now because this needs to be flattened. Yeah, this needs to be flattened so that I can do my farming here. And then I'll add like a second wall because I'm getting closer to the village. I might actually have to like take the time to wall the village off because I feel like now if I'm out here doing farming all the time and I have a little walled section down here, like they're gonna be loaded and moving around and like getting killed by zombies at night, and I would feel bad about that. So I might have to like get maybe I'll use redwood for that actually. Maybe I'll use redwood for everything now. Yeah, the other thing that I was thinking about was, because I want to start using redwood, but my base isn't like exactly in the redwood forest. So I think that I might make a second little base, like a little house that's, an extension of this base, I guess. That would be in the redwood forest, like right at the gate of the redwood forest, so to speak. And then, yeah, this is looking kind of naturalistic a little bit. Not that one, no. That one looked terrible. That was awful. There we go. Yeah, we'll get back to this when it's daytime again. But this is good, right? right? Yeah. And then I'm gonna make a little berm right here, and that's gonna go along, and then it'll have a little water going through, because if the rains are heavy, then the river will flood and it'll flood your fields, right? So I'll have a little berm there, and I'll have holes going through the berm to let the water go through, and then I'm going to use that flowing water to irrigate my crops, right? Much like I've done over here. You notice that I didn't. This is just ugly. Like there's no reason why I can just fill it up right now. I should just fill. Oh no, there is a reason, because this is a fish trap. Although the fish now they're more likely to go down that way. I've changed the balance of the entropy here by adding these guys. See, because now there are more squares of water that will knock you down here then there are squares of water that will knock you in there. So you would expect that over time, more fish will end up in here and then out into the river. Then we'll end up in my little trap, which, you know, I'm a little bit sad about, but also good for the fish. Good for the fish. Yeah. So nighttime, I'm going to put away, I'm going to put away these world seeds. Maybe I'll hang them out to dry. If I right click the world seed and it sends me back to Drac, that would be embarrassing. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to right click anything with the world seed, even though I like the idea of hanging it out to dry on the drying rack. I think what I will do is give it a place of honor. I was actually thinking of concealing the whole thing, like trying to conceal the whole plan from you, by like hiding it, you know, in like a little box under the floorboards or something. But then I thought that that's dumb. So then I didn't do that because I don't like to do the dumb thing. I don't have any wood. Oh, I do have a tree though. Look at this. This is my emergency tree, which I punch. You know, you can have a tree farm. I'm not about to go on like a rant about how tree farms are not real Minecraft or something. You can have a tree farm. Tree farms are cool. But I do think that they should be not just treated like a machine that makes wood, right? Like I think a thing that I see a lot of people do, myself included, you know, in the past, is just like palm, 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 and then the trees grow into like this one big tangled block of wood, there maybe one big tangled block of wood, and then you like dig through them with your really cool pickaxe or something, and that is fine, you know, whatever, do you, I guess, but it's cooler if you, like, a tree farm is I don't know if it's a real thing. Like, I'm not going to necessarily say like a tree farm is a real thing that exists in the real world, but it's something that you could conceivably have in the real world, right? Like you could conceivably be like, you know what I'm going to do? I was about to build an item frame to put those in, to put the world seed in. But like I'm realizing that if I do that, it's the same problem. Like if I right click something with the world seed, there's just like, it's probably not even, I'm hallucinating that that's even a thing, right? Like when you right click something, it doesn't use that thing. When you right click something, fish is not going to be my source of food though. It's going to be my source of leather. When you right click, you know, a container, I think opening the container probably takes priority. But this way, if I just put that there, I can shift click it and it'll actually just open up the inventory. So then I can have this not in my hand, and then I can put it over here. So I can see that I have 4 world seeds, right? And that is nice because then, I'll get rid of this useless box. I'm gonna leave that there actually. Yeah, because then I can see how many world seeds I have left, and like if I need to craft any new ones or whatever. Yeah, so this is good. This is good. I like this. I'm gonna go back to fiddling with my inventory. I got 6 white wool and I got light gray wool. What can I do with a quern? I think I can get string wool. I think I can get string out of a quern with orange. No? I thought there was like a pulverizer recipe for string. Maybe that's just white wool that you can do that with, where you get string back. Oh, I'm almost certain that there is a way to get string from wool, from colored wool. Because I want it, like, I don't want colored wool. I guess I can just dye the wool. I can dye the wool. Pigment. Can't get pigment. This is what I should really be doing. Setting up a silkworm farm. What do you call that? Silkworm farm. Sericulture? Is that sericulture? It's like raising silkworms. I don't know. Ask GPT chat maybe. this bone can go right into the quern. That's what we do with bones around here. I'm going to turn this quern so that it lines up with this box, and then boop, and we get that. And then eventually, you know, if I'm lucky, I'll get 6 pieces of bone meal. And inventory management is so much fun. It's very entertaining to watch me put my stuff into boxes. Yeah, this room, all of this and more I will do for you. Slate. Wool, where's the wool gonna go? I guess the wool goes in the organics. Diorite doesn't go in the organics. Yeah, I need more boxes. Yeah, so I think right now my quest is to get enough white wool to be able to make a chisels and bits bag. And then once I have 8 white wool to make a chisels and bits bag, then I'm going to start chiseling up some shelving in here and have a far greater storage situation. Far better storage situation. More caches. Because I'm going to end up with lots of diorite and stuff. Although I'm not doing a lot of... yeah, I already have a lot of diorite and stuff. Maybe I need this caches. Where's the tin? Tin. Cache needs 3 tin, 1 iron, 2 redstone. I'm gonna do 4 more caches. Just take all the redstone. Anything else? No. Wood, of course. I need some wood to make that box, which I do not have, but I do have trees, and it's almost daytime. That's okay. Yeah. I feel a little disoriented. Yeah, I feel a little disoriented. I think once I get that wool, yeah, and then I'm gonna go and chop down. Oh, maybe I'll do that right now. Maybe I'll go and make an axe out of modded diamond, and whoa. Why is this not having access to the inventory there? Very nice, very nice. Make an axe out of modded diamond and go and chop down a redwood tree, because a single redwood tree is going to net me just a huge amount of wood, right? Those are big, thick trees. There's a spider on my wall. Spider, I do not fear you, spider. I do not fear you. I have a gorgeous sword and full body armor. And you will never be, because you are just a spider. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I realize that I've gotten distracted here, but I want to chop down like a big old redwood tree and just have endless amount of wood. Oh, is that a big one? It doesn't look very healthy though, does it? No, that's not the redwood tree for me. Hello, dear. What's this? Oh, it's glitched out redwood. I wonder if they all do that. I wonder if they all have that little thing at the top, a little dip. Like, do you see what I'm talking about there? Yeah, it looks like they do actually. Might just be a feature of the redwoods. Yeah, so I'm just gonna chop this down. Like this. I'll chop my way up the tree. I mentioned earlier that, like, you know, some people prefer to have a mod where, rather than having to come up with a creative solution for chopping down big, ugly trees, you know, big trees or ugly trees, they would prefer to just hit the bottom of the tree for, like, you know, a minute, holding a button down. But I, a sophisticated Minecrafter, miner and crafter of mines and miner of crafts, am instead going to build a spiral staircase out of the very tree itself. Right? This is what you do. This is how you do it. Just gotta play the game. I'm such a hot shot. Just gotta play the game. Look at me, I'm a YouTuber now. Perfect. Look at this. Look at all this redwood. This is good. This is good because it's going to give me, obviously, like, now I have wood I can make things out of, but also it's going to give me a chance to experiment with, like, what the redwood looks like, what the various, you know, fence blocks and things are with the redwood. Yeah, the other thing, though, that I might want to get is, how's my inventory looking? Not too full. Pam's... So this is these guys. This is Pam's gardens, right? And you pop them, and they come out with all kinds of food for you. But I've already done the windy gardens. You know, I've kind of done the windy gardens like a number of times. I'll do the windy garden again if I have to. I've kind of done the shaded garden too, though, right? Spice leaf, tea, you know, eggplants, tomatoes. I guess that's just life, though. I guess you just gotta, like, you know, can't. It's my lot, right? This is where I spawned. This isn't where I spawned, but this is where I decided to set down my little, you know, my little life, and the food that is produced locally appears to be shaded gardens and windy gardens. So I guess that's just what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna go and fill my inventory up with randoms from the windy garden, from the shaded garden, and then maybe avoid punching a pig. Poor pig, right? Yeah. Every variety of shaded food. Oh, now my inventory is full. Dirt. Don't need the dirt. Yeah, I love Pam's. I love Pam's. I love coming up with, like, people complain that maybe there's like too many foods and they aren't all useful. But I think that's fine. I don't think that, for me, that's not a complaint even. Like that, oh, a little bit of XP there. Don't want to miss that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it as a problem. It just means you get to have a prettier garden. With, I'm gonna save these white. I'm going to save these up and do something with them later. I'm going to make a little box right over here by this wall outside. And I wish that we had, oh, look at that. It's just an oak chest. I wish that we had chests for all the different, woods. That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. We got a lot of stuff though, like redwood. We got chairs, we got tables, you know, we got fences, we got a redwood door. It's a nice looking door. I don't really like the doors with the transparencies in them. I'm not like the biggest fan of door with transparency. Also, we have debarked. We have a mod that debarks everything. You can debark whatever you want. And then I actually modded the mod to add redwood sapling. Oh yeah, cool. To add when you debark, you get, oh, maybe it's not now. It's only vanilla trees that give you actually bark. Like you get bark off of them, and then you can do stuff with the bark. This is nice, eh? What if I do that? No, that doesn't do anything? Okay. I'm gonna just make a little roof, a little rough right here for this stuff. The stuff rough. That's not high enough. Oh man, it's already midday. I haven't even started doing the thing I was gonna do. There. That almost feels too high. Does that feel too high? I kind of did that one on purpose. That was a bit, right? Not really a bit. It's a half a bit. Here we go. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna compromise. I'm gonna do half up and half down there. And then I'll build some lovely redwood fence. Just experimenting with this wood. I've never used redwood before. I'm like pretty excited. Come on. Noob. I never know how much fence I'm gonna get out of fence recipe. Like it's not in my brain. I clearly needed more than I was. There we go. Okay. That's that. Yeah, I've never used redwood before. I have no idea what it's gonna look good with. I mean, it looks good with, everything looks good with gray. Gray is a beautiful color, and everything looks good with gray. Do I have enough? Yeah. Oh, I didn't bring the stone. But that's okay, because I still have work to do on the water itself. What is all this? Oh, it's fish. Oh, it's fish. Oh, man. It's so nice to see you. It's so nice to see all you fishes hanging out down here. Aren't you supposed to go up the river? Isn't that your thing? Maybe not. I shouldn't be rude. I shouldn't be disrespectful to the fish. I should thank them. Thank you. Thank you, fish, for swimming downriver here and getting caught by my dam so that I can eat you. I know that won't always happen. You know, at some point the dam will be finished and I won't be able to do that anymore. Okay, so here, systematic. I'm going to be systematic about this. The sun is already setting, isn't it? Don't lie to me. I know it's setting. I'm no fool. I can tell a hawk from a handsaw when the wind is southerly. Words. I always liked, I always liked Hamlet as a kid, but also as a teenager, perhaps. I also really like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which I guess is a film. I mean, I've only watched the film Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. I always thought that it was a play first, but I mean, I guess the play is Hamlet. But I watched it again recently, and it's not that it hasn't, like, I mean, nothing's aged well. We're at a time in history when things don't age well anymore, for various reasons, and that's okay. Like, I'm down with that. No complaints from me on that front. Because like a lot of the things that are supposed to age well weren't good, so why would we want them to age well? But it definitely always is a bit of a tragedy when something that you enjoyed, is a little weird to watch now, and like a lot of it is like that. I really like this. I'm a big fan of children's cartoons, right? Like Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, and Adventure Time, and so far they've aged pretty well. Like, I watched Gravity Falls recently, and that was very nice. That was a good experience. It's not that old, right? It hasn't had a lot of time to sour, but yeah, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. I have a kid, right? So I'm always thinking about what, like, all the things that I enjoyed. I want to share. I want to share all the things that I enjoy and enjoyed. And when I was a kid, I got like a real education in film, and just to a lesser extent literature, I guess. But like film, I was watching when I was at a tween and a teenager. Our like movie nights would be French cinema and like black and white, American musicals and like all this stuff, right? Like Gigi. I don't know if you know Gigi. Gigi, what's the full name of that? Gigi, don't know. I'm thinking Zazie dans la métro, but Gigi, it might just be called Gigi. It's real cringe now. it's not it's not okay. And I'm wrestling with this idea. Like, do I should just wait longer, right? Like, what I should do is I should just wait to show the kid the stuff that's cringe. I should wait until I was going to use this to make things, until like he has a sense of that, which when I was a teenager, I didn't. I just said whatever came to my mind all the time without thinking about other people's feelings, and I don't recommend it. But maybe that'll be gotta get some coal. I'll just make some coal out of redwood trees because I got them. Maybe that'll be it'll be a different experience for the kids these days. Like, because by the time my kid is a teenager, like, his teachers will be the 20-somethings of today. So the 20-somethings of of today will be the, high school math teachers of tomorrow, and like maybe as a result, the children of the future will have a better chance of like being a little I mean woke, for lack of a better word, I guess. Yeah. And then what comes along with that is kind of the ability. I guess it's possible that what comes along with that is the ability to watch some of this kind of old cinema without internalizing the lessons, without internalizing the culture, the old culture, which I think at times was pretty weird. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead actually hasn't aged that badly. I think it's actually still pretty cool. Because cinema's allowed to be a little wild. I love the part at the beginning where they're flipping the coin. If you haven't watched Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, like go watch Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. I won't spoil it for you. But basically, it follows Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, two minor characters from Hamlet, and they have been summoned. Like it's the plot of Hamlet. They're going to whatever castle, and they're gonna help Hamlet's family like figure out what's wrong with Hamlet. And on their way, they it's a really meta play or film. It's like a film about theater in some sense, and so they're characters in a play, and they maybe don't know that they're characters in a play, or like something like that. And so the metaphysics is the metaphysics of theater. Like entrances and exits are kind of weird, And then another thing that goes on is they find this coin on the road and they start flipping it, and it just keeps coming up heads, hundreds and hundreds of times, heads, and they're discussing, one of them is really arrogant and loquacious, and the other one is consistently like very clever in his observations, but doesn't really know how to synthesize anything out of them. And so they make a very good team. It's very comedic. Yeah, no, I still recommend that film. I'm making caches. How did I even remember that I was making caches, right? It's because when I threw all that tin in the box, alarms went off in my brain. Like, no, you were going to use that tin. Don't throw that tin in a box. Yes. And here, boop, boop, 4 caches. Yeah. Obviously, also, like it's fine to, even if something hasn't aged well, it's not like you're not allowed to watch it. I think it's just like I'm concerned about the impressionable young mind internalizing things like, for example, we're like a video game family, so there's like a lot of concern about gun violence, because the video games are full of guns, and like victim of a certain kind of video game culture. I love guns. I love the aesthetic of guns. I often kind of try to make this distinction, right? The aesthetic of guns, like to me, they look cool. They look cool, and maybe that's not an accident. They were designed by someone to look cool, right? But like when I actually see a real gun, I feel like I want to retch. I feel a deep, disconcerting feeling. I'm gonna make more caches in my gut. I was living in Paris, 2013 or something, and they have terrorism in France. That's a thing. We have terrorism in Canada a little bit. There's terrorism in the world. The world has got some terrorism going on, in Paris, they have had terrorism while I was there. In 2013, 2013, the Cambodian noodle shop where all the hipsters went to have noodles, like myself included, on many occasions with my wife. We went to this noodle shop. It got bombed. It got blown up with people inside. and that was real scary. It got bombed like while we were there. We walked by one day and it was just gone. But yeah, walking around in the metro are these like French military people with camouflage and enormous guns. Holy crap, I've never seen a gun that big. Like, it looked like something out of James Bond, right? Out of I mean literally out of the video game GoldenEye, right, for the N64. That's how like big and stupid looking this gun was. And there were like 3 of them walking down with the gun, and I just felt dizzy with, ugh, I don't like that, right? And then later, someone at work was different work, different time, was talking about a TV commercial that they'd seen that they thought was like, what was the word that they used? Like inappropriate, but like in a like kind of gross, kind of, I don't know. I can't remember the exact word that they used. But it was like something to do with, women dancing, right? Like women expressing themselves. And it was like, oh, that's so lewd. I think what they said was, maybe they said lewd. No, they didn't say lewd. It was something like gross. And I had a fit because I was like, no, like we decide the culture, right? That's like the nature of the social world, is we get to decide what things mean. We get to put the meanings on things, and you're deciding that like women expressing themselves in certain ways is gross, and I would rather that you decide that people walking around with enormous guns is the thing that is gross. Like, that's the thing that, even if it's necessary, right? Like, his argument, he countered that like, well, it's important, for public safety or whatever, because of the bombs and the terrorists, right? Like, we got to have a show of there being guards, even if nobody's going to fire any bullets at anybody else. There's a, and I get that. I accept that as an argument. I don't necessarily agree, but I accept the premise, right? Like, I don't think that is a bad premise. But it can still be gross, we can still accept that is not the way that we want society to look. We don't want people walking around with any kind of killing machine. We want the killing machines to be not things that we have and things that we desire, right? And like similarly, I wish that there was less sexiness in the gun, so that it could be something that I don't find myself like, oh yeah, that's cool, right? Like the Matrix, so cool. Yeah, so I'm always trying to like steer the kid towards, away from guns and more towards like less relevant forms of violence, like swords. When I was a kid, I loved martial arts. I was really into martial arts. I did karate, Goju Ryu, for many years, and I watched. I think it was like mainly anime that got me really into. And just the other night I was rewatching One Punch Man. I just completely gobbled that series down over the last 2 nights. I watched both seasons because I couldn't remember the first time I watched it. I didn't really like it all that much, but then I couldn't remember why. And when I can't remember my complaints with things, I think back to The Matrix, because the first time that I watched The Matrix, I didn't like it. And then it became subsequently one of my favorite films ever when I like rewatched it, right? So it's sometimes if you almost like something a lot, but then it's like a little bit disappointing, it can feel like it's actually even more disappointing than it really is, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna move this forward here so that I just don't have to like futz around. So what does that mean? Like, The Matrix turned out to be one of my favorite movies, of all time. And so complaints that I had with my like initial impression of it stood out to me more because of that extreme, right? And like similarly, I really liked the first 3 episodes of One Punch Man so much. I loved them. I was just laughing so much. It's so good. But then the rest of that first season, it's kind of just meh. Like it kind of just goes, and it becomes less and less about One Punch Man. Well, this doesn't make any sense. It's clearly gotta gotta go all the way over here. It kind of stops being about One Punch Man. It's about all these other heroes that are like, you know, I understand why. I get it. I get the structure of the show, but yeah, I rewatched it, and those complaints that I had were like all but gone. Yeah, it's just really solid. I think it's probably pretty solid. And then season 2 is even better, and it has all this martial arts stuff. Like after watching it, you know, thoroughly, I was like, we've kind of been talking about maybe I'm going to go back to doing martial arts because you know I'm a programmer and I don't get a lot of exercise, and I play a lot of Minecraft, and it'd be good to have some kind of a, you know, an exercise, a venue. I was doing Kyudo, which is like a an archery martial art, for a while, but I stopped it before the pandemic, and didn't pick it up again when the pandemic ended. I think you know the pandemic I'm referring to, you know, that pandemic. Yeah, so there's a Goju Ryu dojo nearby. There's not a lot of those, so you know, could be a thing. Could be a thing. Watch out, world. Yeah, but yeah, watching the One Punch Man like martial arts tournament, even though it's really stupid, like it's, you know, they don't show a lot of the martial arts. I think that they show a lot more of like Garo versus everybody, and that part is really cool too. I like Garo, and then it ends on such a cliffhanger. I mean, it's not even a cliffhanger. I think that calling that a cliffhanger would be like disrespectful to cliffhangers. It just ends abruptly. Season 2 just ends not with an ending. It ends with no ending whatsoever. Like the beginning of season 3, I think season 3 is like coming. The beginning of season 3 is just going to be. I'm not gonna, you know, it's like Dune, the recent Dune, the Villeneuve Dune movies. Like it's not 2 movies. It's 1 movie. It's one movie. Not a movie and a sequel, right? It's just like you can't make a 6-hour-long movie in Hollywood, I guess, so gotta break it up a little bit. You know, like Lord of the Rings, right? That's one story. I don't know, maybe that's kind of an arbitrary distinction. Boop, boop. How does that look? Terrible? Yep. Looks terrible. What about that? Does that look less terrible? Yeah, no, it doesn't really, does it? You know what I have to do? I'm going to have to make this double thick in order to have the water be coming down flush with the stone so that it doesn't have this like ugly drop like that. And then I'll probably have to add, I'm like surprised that I had enough stone for that. Have to add something on top. Oh, I said I was gonna, yeah, don't let me forget these things. Where did all of my, oh, there it is. I was gonna add redwood on the top. The top is gonna be redwood. So I think I'm gonna do that like this. Whoops, noob. All right, I don't even need to walk backwards because I can just reach that far. Very nice. All right, that is a bridge as well, right? And when I get my damn chisels and bits going, then I'll even be able to like, no. Oh, I just don't have any more wood. I mean, I need more stone. So then I'll just do that. Right? That's fine. That looks fine. Yeah, and then chisels and bits. Like I'm gonna, you know, be able to add a little bit more texture to these builds. Like a lot of these builds, you know, like especially over there, it'd be good if it had a little bit of in and out. It's kind of flat, right? And you know, I can do that with just a bunch of redwood, but I could do it with chisels and bits too, and I think that would be more attractive. It's good. I like this. I'm gonna. Nope. Come on. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, great. And then over here, I'm going to build up a little berm, and then I'm going to have the water pipe like come through the berm. I'm gonna lower, oh, no. I'll make a berm, yeah, I'm gonna make a berm, and I'm gonna lower this area down by like 1 block. Because that way the water flows in from above, and I can irrigate more crops that way. And I think it'll just look good to have it be down. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I actually don't hate this. I actually don't hate this. Actually. I think I'm gonna do one more. Let's see if I hate that. If I had enough of these at some point, oops, nope. At some point, I'm gonna start hating it, and then I'll know that it's time to stop. Also, I gotta worry about this. This is a problem. I could treat this as a natural resource. I could pump it out. I could bucket it out. I could just cover it up, but like it doesn't prevent the fire. Yeah, I have to think about that at some point. Yeah, no, I don't hate that. That's nice. That's nice. What about from an angle? Yeah, from an angle, I hate it. See that? I've always hated that kind of connection in Minecraft. And that's, I mean, this could be a stair block, right? Or this could be a stair block. And that would be a little better. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that now. Oh, I'm so happy with this. I'm so happy. I'm so pleased. And I love that, like, the fish are feeding in here. And also because, like, this side is narrower, once they get in here, it's less likely that because they move randomly, it's less likely that they'll, like, go back up. Obviously, they can't go back up because there's water there preventing them from going back up. Yeah. So that's fine. And then, they are going to get sucked in here and end up down there along with a bunch of my items. Oh, look at that. But that's cool. I can go fishing here. Look at all these fish. Gorgeous. I really like this base. You know, I remember in the episode 1, maybe 2 or something, I was saying like that I was not too stoked about this area. It has grown on me. This is definitely my base now. I'm not like looking to upgrade, you know, and that's a great feeling. That's a great way to play Minecraft. It's just like let the world grow on you, you know, and like complexify, gradually add and complexify, and then yeah, I mean, I sound like a broken record about that probably by now, but it's really true, right? Like just as you need things, build things, and gradually you're like silly little, like, you remember what this was? It was just a little box. It already looks better than a box, and it looks better. So this is a thing like centers, strong centers, and there's this concept, there's this principle in the architecture of Christopher Alexander, is an architect, writes some books, The Timeless Way of Building and The Nature of Order. And I've kind of referred to them in the past, like I referred to this thing as interlock and deep interlock and ambiguity. That's like one of the principles. It could actually, I think it should have a little up here, actually, one little block right there. That's one of the principles. He's got like these 15 sort of principles that he believes to be a part of the natural order of the world. And he has this wonderful, in like The Timeless Way of Building, which was published in the 70s, I think. He talks about, he gives an example of like a pond, right? And where is the edge of the pond? Like does this ground part like count as in the pond or out of the pond? And it becomes very difficult to answer these questions. And it's the same in the social world, right? Like it becomes very difficult to, or in anything, you know, what lies inside the nebula? I mean, a nebula is a thing, right? So can you tell me like where is the inside of the nebula and where is the outside of the nebula? No, you can't. Like your decision of where the nebula ends or begins will be arbitrary. And it's better, he says, to think about the centers of things, right? No one would argue, a few people would argue about the existence of a pond here. The pond is a center, right? And no one would argue, or few people would argue about the existence of a bank, you know, or a shore, The pond has a shore. The shore exists. The pond exists. And so we don't need to define exactly, for any point, is it inside the pond or inside the shore? Well, it can be both. It can be, it can be ambiguous. We are allowed to have that ambiguity. And then centers in a complex of centers, like the pond is beautiful because of the shore. If you were to take the shore away, the pond would lose some of its beauty, right? Like if all of this was just shallow blue water, it wouldn't be as beautiful as this intricate, elegant shape. And like this one tree, right? The addition of this one tree makes this pond, more beautiful, more interesting, more aesthetically valuable to us. And so like this little, Ponsu Ikenya, this little box that I like built, out of necessity, right? The game made me build this box. It looked bad. If you came over that hill and you saw it, it would just be like a box. If you came across it in nature, you'd just be like, oh, box. Somebody started playing Minecraft here and then stopped, right? But now the box hasn't changed, right? This thing hasn't changed. I haven't touched it. I've added this little part to the side of it, but that's not within the cube, right? And that's intentional so far. I haven't touched it because I kind of wanted to show you, like, look, it's more beautiful now because of the addition of these various frames and contrasting elements and etc. Little bits of noise, deep interlock and ambiguity, right? The addition of all these other things, which I don't know, they all, like, if you were to take this box away from this enclosure, the enclosure, I think, would lose something. I think that you would feel like something was missing, right, from this enclosure. You'd come along and you'd be like, well, there's a wall here, but like, why is there a wall with no box? Where's the box? There's a little one over here, but this isn't finished yet. This isn't a real thing. When it's finished, it's gonna look nice, right? And if you were to take the wall away, you just have a box. So they strengthen each other. That's like the nature of centers. Centers strengthen one another, and you can tell that they strengthen one another when you compare, right? Like here, you can compare the three stages of wall texture that this went through. One of them was simply brick on the top, cobble on the bottom, and then we added this little dip, and it definitely looked better, right? Add the dip, looks better, stronger, right? And when adding this one, right, that goes on top, looks better, right? It's stronger. It's added this interest. Yeah. So while there's no, like, Christopher Alexander isn't suggesting, as far as I understand, he's not suggesting like a calculus of aesthetics, right? Like, you add 15 centers to something and it's 15 strong centers that strengthen each other, and you have a 15 times increase in aesthetic points or whatever. But yeah, that's, how am I going to get down from this tree though, eh?